Welcome to the platform, Monday edition on Flow 94.9 FM, the Flow of God on State. And a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Chioma Nkwanta. Aba, the Commercial Nerve Center of Abia State, is reputed as the SME capital of Nigeria, and based on the tons of business activities, production and distribution chains that the city offers. That's why it's known as the commercial nerve of the state. But despite the high-ranking position in areas of production, SME and distribution, the commercial activities in the city still lacks a bit of organization. Hence the need for a modern mall, or let's say an arrangement that makes it easy to access and then shopping easy for you. This morning I have with me Chiedozie Njoku. He is in charge of Check Best International Limited. He's a developer of Enyimba Mall Outlet Shop. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Now, one will be wondering, when you say Enyimba Mall Outlet Shop, yes, what does that entail? What's that all about?
Well, Enyimba Mall Outlet Shop is just a name, but I'm sure you're asking what comes behind the name.
Exactly.
All right. The mall aspect of it is in modern times, what you used to know as market is now called malls, because it's much more comfortable, much larger, and much more environmentally friendly places to shop. Okay. Then the outlet in it, the addition of the outlet shops is that it's not just a conventional mall of what we are very much used to, which means that every of the shops is all enclosed in a particular building. Then you now have the individual outlets. What we have is a much larger expanded space and location that has both retail and wholesale sales under one roof, and some other things as well, like children's playground, lounges, restaurants, and enough parking space, and maybe a few other things that you don't find in a regular mall. Okay. So that's basically the difference between the regular conventional mall that you know of and what you are doing right now. And it was actually done like that because we took into cognizance how the marketing history and the individuals or the inhabitants of Aba is, so that we don't go over the top, but definitely not below where they are coming from.
But you know, in Aba we have so many markets. We have so many markets. So what makes Enyimba Mall Outlet Shops different from the ones that we have already?
A lot of things makes it different. Like one, we have a far more better environment to shop. Okay. Unlike what you have presently, that is all congested and is not properly built, you have a purpose-built shopping complex that is demarcated very well into different segments. That has a standby electricity unit. That means you have 24 hours light. That has a standby water system with water dispensers to give regular water supply to the clients coming in and the off-takers in the mall, and they also can provide security in terms of fire outbreak, because we have fire hydrants in everywhere. It has adequate car park. That everybody coming into the mall will at least be sure that their cars are secured. You now have very good spaced shops and shopping arcades that you could walk freely and enjoy your shopping experience. You also have opportunity of, if you don't want to shop, you can actually enjoy one or two other facilities we have in the mall. And you also have two areas of shopping. You can either do your retail shopping or you could do your wholesale shopping. Oh, there's a wholesale section. Yeah, we have a wholesale section where we have two large warehouses that has the capacity to take at least 6 40-feet containers at the same time. Right. So you have that as well. And like I said, the ambience is quite different from what you call your regular market, because you have a more beautiful ambience that you can actually come there, just like it's the fad these days, and just take pictures and while around and do some window shopping and go home. So it's quite different from what you have in mind. It's something like the things you see on movies, you read about, and people are longing to have. And people who have actually experienced it will be very happy to see it very close to them so that they can also enjoy such environment and facilities.
And this mall, Enyimba Mall Outlet Shop, where is it located?
It's located in Echie Road, right in the city center of Aba. It's about it's within 30 minutes drive from virtually every place in Aba. Yes, okay. It's right next door to the Enyimba International Stadium. Also next door to the popular Ayahon, which I think is the oldest market in Aba. It's also very close to Obo Hill. So it's right in the city center. 30 minutes drive from any place in the metropolis you could get there.
All right. We know that Aba particularly is the commercial nerve of Abia State. Let's look at business activities, business in Abia and Aba in particular.
Business in Aba has, for me, from what I saw, like I was born in Aba and I spent at least the first 19-20 years of my life down here. And going out, coming back after 20 years, I didn't really see much difference. The only thing I saw that I wasn't used to before I left is like the actors have changed.
Okay.
In those days you had big brand names. Now you still have big brand names, but they have changed. The names and the people have changed. Then that same vibrancy that you still see people coming into Aba on every day to come and shop is still there. The same containers are still coming in every day, if not in larger groups. And I've noticed that the city itself has also expanded in the marketing wise, because virtually every building in Aba has either a shop, a biapolo, a warehouse or something. So I think he has not lost his vibrancy at all. The only thing I think he has lost is that organization, that cohesion, that structure, that you could really go to a certain place and get what you want, is one thing I noticed I didn't see anymore.
Okay.
But as far as the economic vibrancy and the exchange of goods, money and commodities is still very, very much around. It's not lost that. Yeah.
All right, and let's look at the business perspective of Aba. If, as a businessman, if I want to come down to Enyimba outlets, mall outlet shops to actually set up my business, what's the prospect like for me?
Very huge.
Okay.
Very, very huge. Like I said, now it's right in the city center of Aba. So it's a place where you could be very, very sure that every other person coming into Aba can actually access the place.
Okay.
So it's not as if he's going to look for it. So which makes it very attractive to anybody living or visiting Aba to locate the place easily. So it also makes your goods or services also very, very visible to whoever, that is a prospective client. And like I said, Aba has not lost any of its economic vibrancy. So with that visibility and the vibrancy of the business community or the marketing community in Aba, you have more than a sure place for your return for whatever investments you're doing in Aba.
Okay. All right, we will go for a very short break. When we return, we'll continue this particular discussion looking at Aba and all the business activity that comes with it, especially the Enyimba Mall Outlet Shop. Don't go anywhere.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
Well, this is the platform on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. I have with me this morning the Managing Director and CEO, Checkvest International Limited, developer of Enyimba Mall Outlet Shops. He is right here with me, Chiedozie Njoku, and we have been looking at the commercial activities in Aba and Abia State as a whole. We're also looking at the Enyimba Mall Outlet Shops and everything that it encompasses. So back to you, Mr. Chiedozie Njoku. If we look at the business mentality of the average Aba man, he prefers to just have his regular shop, probably on the roadside. You even said it. If you go to Aba, you see a lot of shops on the road, and there are buildings that all have shops. Do you think an average trader, most especially in Aba, would want to bring his business down to the Enyimba Mall instead of going to the conventional markets that we have? Because Enyimba Mall is not conventional.
Well, I think that's the good thing in what we're trying to do, because most of them have actually been very, very receptive and responsive to what we've we've brought it into Aba.
Okay.
Like, in as much as they have shops all around, it depends on how lucrative are those shops, wherever they're situated, one. And if those areas actually purpose-built shops, and you and I know that they are not, because they don't have an environment which is a better one for them to do what we are doing. And that is exactly what we've come and which we have created for them. We've created a better alternative space or location for them to showcase their goods, showcase their trade, do their businesses, and the return for whatever they are doing financially is at least very guaranteed, and they have the visibility. Yeah, and our people, like I said, have actually been very, very responsive. Most of the off-sell that we did it as offline. That is when we didn't even have the structure on ground. We showed that the people, the traders like you call them, or the business people in Aba actually identify and actually know exactly what we're trying to do. And they've been longing to have something like that, because most of them also do travel outside the country, they travel outside the state. So they've seen some of these things and they know what benefits it could bring to their businesses. So they embraced it wholeheartedly. And they're even asking us to go beyond what we've decided to do. Like, we have a whole lot of adequate car park. I've gotten a whole lot of inquiries and requests to even build on those car parks, because everybody wants to have a shop or a location or a presence in the present location that we have. So our traders and our business people in Aba has actually embraced what we are doing wholeheartedly.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the people have embraced it wholeheartedly. Now, looking at in terms of taxation and all of that, some of the things that traders are really concerned about is taxes and how to go about paying it, most especially when they are in a facility like the one you're offering, the Enyimba mall outlet shops. Yeah, so taxation and all of that.
What we have, I wouldn't call it taxation in Enyimba Mall. What we're going to put in place post-construction is what we call facility management fees.
All right.
And the facility management fees is basically as you consume electricity, you pay for what you've consumed, you pay for the refuse that you've generated to be thrown out, you pay for the security to secure your space in the outlet. You pay for what is it again? You just pay for the basic things that you've done. These are not taxations or anything. Every other thing that is supposed to go to the government, like probably in terms of storage fees or whatever, we don't have control over it. But we can also protect whoever is our off-takers to make sure that whatever fees that goes to the government are the necessary, important and adequate ones to pay, so you don't have in terms of multiple taxation. Okay. So we are going to protect them from that, because we are going to liaise very much with the government, respective government authorities to be sure what our off-takers or inhabitants of the mall should pay to the government, so you don't have people coming in every time to ask them to pay for unnecessary fees that are not there. But every other thing there is statutory, because you still have to pay for your electricity if you consume it, you still have to pay for water if you use it, you still have to pay for security, you still have to pay for sanitation and everything. So we've gradually taken care of all those things. And like I said, we have off-takers, which even before we go into the negotiation of allocating a shop or even agreeing to give you a space, these are things that we outlay out to them, and they're in agreement to it, that as far as we keep our own parts of the bargain and keep to a certain standard on quality, they'll pay for it. So we've actually done that. So there will be no need or any fears of multiple taxation or any of those stuffs. No, I don't think there will be.
All right. So we've looked at taxation, rent. People that are coming to actually get shops in the outlets will definitely pay rent. So how affordable is the rent?
It is very much affordable for what we're trying to build or what we're building already. We have two options. You either you buy outrightly, you have a long lease, or you have rent. Okay. And they are very, very affordable. They're all very pocket friendly. All
right, so you either buy it and then you own it.
Yeah.
Or you lease.
You lease for a long time, either lease or lease purchase or outright rent. That is monthly or weekly rented.
All right.
So we have those things, and I don't really have We have a minimum space of 10 square meters.
Okay.
That's the minimum space you could
All
take.
right, I was coming to that.
So you either have 10, 20, 30, 40 square meters. So then depending on the nature of your business, that will now determine which section of the mall you'll be located in. Then as for the rentals as well, it also depends on the space you're taking. But we have a startup point of 70,000 naira for the same, Then the long lease as well is all determinant on some of these other factors. So I can't really sit down here and say this is what it is. The only thing I can say for sure is what a space can go for if you buy it. That is 10 square meters at present. So, but if for more inquiries, they can actually reach us, either come to the project site or to the office, so you could have more information based on what you want.
All right. Okay. So you made mention of, depending on the particular goods that you're selling, you have a space. So that means it will be partitioned to, probably if you want to buy things that have to do with babies, you go to this particular section, you have all of that. Yeah,
that's what we did. And like I said earlier, we did that based and taking into consideration what is really obtainable in the system. You don't, in as much as we're trying to make a difference, we're also not trying to forget where we are coming from, so that you don't make a difference and people don't even understand where you're going to. So I noticed in Aba, their marketing experience is usually based on this is where this group is, or this is where this group is. And the mentality is basically so that you could have multiple options or probably the same goods, so that you could probably get a better deal or a better pricing for the same product. Now, if we now mingle each and every one of them, it might, at the end of the day, it will probably work. But initially, are we ready to pay the price of trying to institutionalize that kind of change? So what we did here was, because of the size of the mall, we tried as much as possible, like we have what we call a metro hall, where you have electronics and electricals. You have the GSM and ICT, where you have the phones and everything that has to do with ICT. Then you have a fabrics lane, where you have clothing and fashion and stuffs. And now we have where we call the general goods, where you can now get the pharmacies. You now have the grocery lane, where you now have the supermarkets and everything. So we did in such a way, and it was spaced round, so that you have a free flow within the mall. So you don't necessarily just come in and go to a particular section and buy what you want to buy. Maybe before you get to where you're going to, you could probably remember you need to buy a shoe or a phone or something. So you can actually, each of the sections complement each other. So that's what we try to put in place. So yes, there may be sections where you can get a particular brand of things or a particular range of goods of a particular nature, so that at least you could have options of better bargaining, depending on what it is. So we have that. We set that in place as well.
All right. So we talked about the location earlier, but then how accessible is this mall from wherever we're coming from? For instance, if I am coming from Umahia now and I want to get to the mall.
All right. You have, like I said, if you get to Aba, the location is basically about not more than 30 minutes from everywhere, from even Oba Junction, it's 30 minutes. We have four known routes to the mall. One is from Omahia. One from Obo Hill, where you cross the bridge. One is from somewhere within town. After East Street, you have Green Street. It takes you directly to the mall. Then you have East Street. Then you have another one from Ongwa Road. Unfortunately, all these access roads are all good. And I may have to mention at this point that we even got the approval of the government to rehabilitate and repair a Damfodian Road. It's another street after Eche Road. There's an ongoing work going on there. So at the end of the day, you actually have two major roads leading to the mall that will be as good as any road you can get anywhere in the world. So you have access to it.
All right. There is access. There are roads leading to the mall, so there's actually nothing to fear.
No, nothing at all.
Okay. All right. We're going to open the phone lines for you to ask questions as regards Enyimba Mall outlet shops, for you to make contributions. I'll read out the phone numbers right now: 0808 1826 949 or 0811 605 294. 949. You can also send SMSs to 0906 510 8289. So who can actually come and buy the shop or own the shop? Is it like for specific people of society?
Well, it's basically for anybody that can afford it or anybody that has the ambition to run a shop. Like I said, we have different payment types. So if you can afford it, you could come buy your shop. If you can't afford it outright, you can actually come and make some kind of financial arrangement through our lease and payment schedule, or you could actually rent to purchase. So it's actually meant for everybody who actually has the mindset of owning a shop in the edifice so that he could showcase his business or his trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my presenter.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is MC Chichigo.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you. My advice to the directors of this those that are confined.
Enyimba Mall.
Let it not be like our market here in Oman. We always spend a huge of money today. Have done a bushy area, a noble area. So my advice to them is that now they are there, telling people how good it looks like, how beautiful this and that. Let it not be after maybe 1 month, 2 months now. That one will be forgotten. You see, instead of people trading inside there will be street trading now. The effort of government to be jeopardized. And so, what I'm saying is that they should implement laws or make that market to stand and become a standard one in Africa.
Okay.
That's my advice to them.
All right. MC Chichio, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to answer that?
Yes, thank you for the advice, and I probably need to say at this point that what we are doing is a purely private-driven initiative, so we want it to be as best as it could possibly be, and for as long time as it could possibly be. We've also taken those things into consideration, and like I said, post-construction, we have a facility management firm that is in place to ensure that whatever we've put in place now stands the test of time. And as time goes on, we'll also be liaising with the government and government respective parastatals to make sure that what you've just mentioned, like street trading or conversion of part of those areas into a nuisance to the mall, will be curtailed, if not outrightly stopped completely. So we'll be working on that as well.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Former from Umaya.
You're welcome.
What I'm asking is this: what arrangement are you making about the barrows in Aba, so we can come in comfortably, whether it's coming from Port Harcourt and other part of the country?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Chairman.
Good morning. Please turn down the volume on your radio.
It's off, even.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's Alvin. I'm calling you from Benden.
Good morning, sorry.
Alvan, you're welcome.
Yeah, I must commend the management of Enyimba Mall for coming, with such investment. We want to see more of such a private investment. We want people to come in, with such a business arrangement to help create job for the people or create a business opportunity for the people, and in turn help the government, especially now we have relative peace in Aba. Of course, the state government is doing some roads in Aba too. So it's quite commendable that we have such a business and investment arrangement in Aba. I must commend the management and urge them to ensure that that place is well managed, because we've seen such business arrangements come up and with a little small time it will go down. Of course, our government should do whatever they have to do to help them succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alvan.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Choma.
Good morning to you. Obinna, you're welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy with this initiative, but
say this thing. Even the people of you, are you hearing me?
Yes, please go on.
Anybody in Abada has everything about Megamo. Because all over the radio station during those days, all the jingle. But unfortunately today now, go to that site at Omadia. It's the head of it. Not for snakes. You don't find in that place. But all why am I saying this? Maybe it's not just the media hype or something like that, because we have been seeing all these things. Let them try and make it in a reality. Not after all this jingle, after all this awareness now. It's not every like Abamegamo. Abamegamo is the shadow of this law. Let it not be a reality. It's another reflection on that. That's just my own contribution.
All right. Thank you. You want to answer?
Yes, I need to answer this, and I want to answer this because, first of all, when we started, I did what you call a business plan, a feasibility study. And part of the feasibility study we did was actually do a comprehensive market index of why Abamega Mall failed. Even from the level of development I saw in that place, is not supposed to fail. And this is where I'm going to take it back to the citizens and inhabitants of the states. If you don't occupy it, it will not work. We are putting in over $1 billion to do what we are doing. But if it comes and you have a whole lot of reasons and excuses that are not backed by concrete facts, even if we put in $1 billion there, it will not work. People say that Abamega Mall is out of town, which completely doesn't make sense to me. That mall is situated in a position or a location where 80% of all entries into Aba takes place, and at least 80% of all exits into Aba takes place. So I don't understand how it is out of town, where you pass that area before coming into Aba or going out of Aba or passing Aba from Port Harcourt to Enugu. So it is the mindset of people who did not want to occupy that location that make that place a seemingly failure, which I said seemingly because I don't still believe it was a failure. It could be a delayed takeoff, which probably what we are doing could try as much as possible to reinvigorate interest in that same location. Secondly, what we are doing, like I said, is something that we've tried as much as possible to have deep studies into. Two of the things we are trying to do, people complain about roads. We have just not talked to the government to help us do a chair road, which they have done. We was also taking initiative on our own to do Danfodio Road, which has also created a little bit more accessibility to our mall. We've also tried to see if we can get one or two properties along that same location to build a police post and donate it to the Nigerian police force to reassure people about the security along that area, which was also part of the reasons that people said that the other location wasn't functional. So we've put some of these two things into consideration. But like I said earlier, whatever we do, if we don't change our mindset about how we look at certain things in town, it will not work. So I think it is even the people in Aba, which are, for now, to be very honest with you, be very grateful. Like I said, they have been responded very, very well. But when we say that they should occupy our spaces, they should, as much as possible, occupy it, because that will be when the real success story could be done. What we are doing now is to make sure that we'll build what we've promised we are going to do. Whatever schematics you are going to see on TV, on flyers and everything, we're going to ensure that it is built. But after we build it and you now start circulating the kind of stories that was being circulated, is owned by this person, is owned by that person, this person funded this and this person didn't fund that, and forgetting to look at the fact that this is a business enterprise that was funded based on purely private funded initiatives, forgetting wherever that money comes from, forgetting or not taking into consideration what we are going to benefit from that area, it won't work. So I think this same question should also go back to the citizens itself. We should change our mindset on how we look at some of these things.
Okay. All right, let's take more calls. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, baby.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning to your girls there in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very cool. Still remember calling from Odumaya.
Okay, welcome.
All right. This owning a shop thing, is it meant for the business, or is not to own your shop and to do your own personal business? And also, like, if it comes like assistance staff, how is the business going? Like, if somebody needs assistance in the business, like the person is participating with two people's business now, like how is the assistance? Is like how you will go to assist the person when it comes to assist?
Loftsman, I don't get you.
Is it assistance as in financial assistance to own or buy a shop?
Yes.
Okay, we have some arrangements with a mortgage
All right.
bank that can also help you do that. So if you're interested in buying a shop and you can't afford it, if you get to our offices, we'll introduce you to a mortgage bank that can help you raise the additional funding that you need that will help you own a shop.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, baby boo.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to your guest in the house.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm doing fine.
Who's Sam and not I'm calling from Omaya.
You're welcome.
Our guest, I want to appreciate you for coming on air to clear the air. Most times if you are not informed, definitely the one may be deformed. So I'm encouraging you. You people shouldn't consider whatever thing that people will be saying concerning that. What we need in Abia State here is development. If it is possible, let development get to every 17 local government of the state. So, if Enyimba Mall is going to, like you said now, definitely it has become a reality. I'm still encouraging you. You should not be deterred by what people that doesn't like the state may come up to say tomorrow. Like the one we have Abia Mall in Omaya, I believe that is a private partnership. Government may assist or government may give land for the establishment. Why people will be saying that maybe it's owned by politicians? People shouldn't be discouraged by such comments. So I'm encouraging people to go and see, upload you. If there's any other place you are going to build this more established now in level 17 local government, you can come to us here and do such things. So it will help us in Abia State here, and it will help us compete with other states in the state. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
Okay, let's look at infrastructure, security, power, the conveniences in the mall, and the parking lot capacity. All of these things.
Like presently, we have a provision for 3 kind of power energy solution to the complex. One is the public power system. The second one is the gas power generating system, and the third one is the regular gasoline power generators. Presently, our management offices is actually using the solar power system presently in our offices, and is also being used to light up a portion of the mall from dusk to dawn.
Okay.
Presently, so we're ensuring you that you have 24-hour power supply system in the place. There's a combination of solar power, regular NEPA or EEDC, and a gas power generating set. Then in terms of security, we also have a private security firm that is already in place right now, trying to work out modalities on how to effectively secure the place from crime and every other thing that comes with it. And like I earlier on said, we are trying to also purchase one of the buildings within the vicinity of the place so that we could build a police post and donate it to the Nigerian police force, which could also serve as an additional security to every other person that is there. The car park space we have now is based on the ratio of the shops we have is an adequate space to park these cars. But we're also trying to make sure that we clear up all the environments around the place so that if we have overflows, which we know will come at some point, they will not congest the roads by parking their cars on the road. And the conveniences are also very adequate. We have more than enough conveniences to take care of male and female, in the mall as well.
Okay. All right. In terms of ICT, is the mall ICT enabled?
Yes, it's a modern mall. Like I said, it's a very, very modern mall. So part of the things we also have in the mall is that apart from the Enyimba Mall outlet shops, will have a platform where every occupant of the mall will have a site so that they can actually display their goods and services online.
Okay.
And that portal can also be accessed from anywhere in the world, so you can also order your goods. Fortunately, in this part of the world, what they call well-being is already in existence. So you can actually access the mall, access a particular shop like you want, either the retail or outlet or the retail or the wholesale section, and order for what you want. So we have that, and we're also working with an ICT firm to provide free Wi-Fi for each and everybody within the vicinity of the mall. So we're also very much ICT compliant, and we are going to ensure that it will work.
All right. So you said something about online distribution. Like I could stay in my house and
order whatever you want from whatever, if it's shop Choma 101 that says clothes or that is on radio, and for some reason you can't come physically to, you can actually access it from your wall, just like what you do with other trading platforms in the world. And we won't want to mention names because of your advert, so just like that, so you can actually order online from anywhere.
All right, that is awesome. Good morning.
Good morning. What do you do?
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm not commissioner.
Oh, they speak like one. Anyway, I'm Commissioner in Equity.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm a travel sponsor from here in Omonachobo.
Okay.
I love what they are doing the Aba shopping mall. It's a very good idea. I love it.
Okay.
And there's one particular advice I would like to give. I know that Aba has what it takes. Most importantly on the area. Aba has a very vast area of land. But the problem is this. In most of the areas in Aba, we don't have access to it. If you have a mall without an access to it, to me, it looks like a beautiful man without a husband. So what I would advise you to do is this. Link with the government, make sure that you have a very good access to that particular Aba
Enyimba mall.
You can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe let me repeat what I know I've said earlier on. Presently, we have 4 access routes. The government did the HA road when we started this mall to help us do what we're doing, and they did a very good job on that. Then they've also started doing East Street. What we now did as a company was seek permission and approval to do the second alternate road, which is the Danfodio road, also leading to the mall. So we're also doing that. So invariably, what I'm trying to say that this is not just something we have left for the government alone to do. We've actually also gone into participation or partnership or seeking for the approval to help them do some of those access roads leading into town, leading into our mall. There are 4 known as it, and the government is also doing what's the name of this road again? Ungwa Road. That will lead from Ungwa Road across the bridge to Obo Hill. And if that is done, there will be enough additional access to what we are doing. So I'm sure you've not been to Aba in a while, but I can assure you that the mindset you have about lack of access road might not be as bad as you think. There's actually an access road which will be better in the coming months after what we're doing is done.
Okay. All right. Waste disposal. It's a huge problem, even in the States. It is a huge problem. How would owners of shops in Enyimba Mall dispose of their waste?
Like I said, we have a facility management firm. There are 2 or 3 basic principal things we actually sat down and made sure that we put in place measures that will address it. One was power, secondly was security, and the third one was sanitary, which waste disposal. So we have a management firm that is actually working on a whole lot of other modalities on how to dispose those waste, apart from just cutting them away and putting them in somewhere. We're also looking at waste to energy, kind of an option as well. Well, the facility management team will have in place for now have put in enough and adequate measures that make sure that all waste generated from the complex is properly disposed of.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is the platform on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. I have with me the Managing Director and CEO of Check Best International Limited, developer of Enyimba Mall Outlet Shop, Chiedozie Njoko. It's not your conventional type of mall, and he has been here, or he's here talking about the mall and everything that the mall offers. And to the average Abian, this is like something that we're looking forward to, actually. Well, we'll go for a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue to take your calls and, of course, your contribution on the program. Don't go anywhere.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
Well, thank you for being there. We're still with Chiedozie Njoku, Managing Director and CEO of Check Best International Limited, developer of Enyimba Mall outlet shops. Now, if we want to be owners of this shop, if we want to have a part of the shop, where should we go to? And how do we go about it?
Well, we have a corporate office in 175 Azikwe Road, Aba, where it's basically an administrative office. So you get all the information you want there. Or you could go to the project site in Echie Road. You can also get all the information. So these are the two likely physical places you could go to. Then, like I said, we have a website and we also have some telephone numbers there. You can also reach through our flyers and get all the information that you need.
Okay. All right. Call us up on 0808 1826 949 or 0811 6052 949. If you have contributions, if you have questions to ask as regards the Enyimba Mall outlet shops, now this is the platform for you to do all of that. You have the Managing Director and CEO right here, and he has all the answers that you need. Good morning. Okay. All right. Well, if there is anything I have not asked, this is actually the time where you get to tell us all that we need to know that I probably did not remember to ask or something.
Well, I don't think it's to remind you of what you ask. What I will probably need to
like what to add.
Okay. The only thing I think I will need to add at this point is is more like a word of maybe my own perception of what I've noticed in Aba or in Abia State since I've been back and since I've been doing things. I think that we should, to a very, very large extent, change our mindset on how we could develop Abia State, and most certainly lay less emphasis on blaming the government for the lack of provision of some of the infrastructures that we need, or bringing back businesses. I've always been a proponent of trying to do your own part and allowing whoever or whatever to do the remaining part. What we're doing in Aba, the location, if you have gone to the location of where the present Enyimba Mall outlet shop is built today, 2 years ago, you'll probably be not just shocked, you'll be surprised how that place was transformed. In one single action, we eliminated crime and environmental and sanitary hazards from the location. That was purely privately driven. It wasn't publicly funded or anything. If each and every one of us can actually take a cue from there, even start from our own little homes, even from our businesses, even from our way of thinking of how things should be done, Abia State will be a far better place to be. We don't really need to wait for the government to do certain things. If we take up some of these initiatives, government will have no other choice than either to come and help out or develop other initiatives that can get these things through. But we all sitting down in one place blaming the government as if you don't know who the government is, as if you don't have access to it, has brought us nowhere. If I had listened to what people had said, I wouldn't have put in one kobo in Abia State. I wouldn't even have been in Aba. But I found out personally that 95%, if not 98% of whatever was said in Aba was completely a very bad impression of what people wanted to create. At a time, I kind of thought that most people didn't even want me to come back home, because I didn't see everything they were talking about that was happening. I have not been kidnapped since I've been in Aba. I have not witnessed any motor accident. I drive myself sometimes. I've been moving around very well. And these are things, if you are 12,000 miles away, they will tell you, don't come to Aba by 6 o'clock, you can't go out. They will kidnap you. There is no road, no light, no nothing. Of crying out loud, people are still there. And in terms of businesses, the crimes I have seen in Abia State are basic crimes as in everywhere in the world. And that's a fact. I have not seen any crime in Abia State that you won't find in New York, London, Joburg, any other place. No, it's still the same crime. So the only crime I've seen in Abia State, which I have not seen in any other place, is the mindset and perceptions of the citizens to ruin and say everything bad about the same state they're all living and surviving. That's the only crime I've seen we have done. So if we change that mindset, I'm sure it will go a long way to help us even influence the government to do what we want them to do and to get a better state that will be better for all of us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's the much we can take. Wednesday is another edition of the platform. Look out for that. My name is Chioma Nkwanta. Enjoy the rest of your day.